Welcome back. Today we are going to learn a very important topic. So, let's start with a simple problem. We all know Java has primitive data types like int, char, double, which are super fast and lightweight. But here is the catch. Can we directly store these primitive inside a collection like ArrayList or HashMap? No. Collections only work with objects, not primitives. So imagine if you are building an array list of student roll numbers. If you write array list angle bracket int roll numbers is equal to new array list, then Java will throw an error because int is a primitive. That's where wrapper classes come to our rescue. In Java, a wrapper class is basically object version of a primitive. As we know, in Java, a wrapper class is basically an object version of a primitive. Int can be written as integer, char can be written as character, double can be written as double, and boolean can be written as boolean, and so on. So, wrapper classes let us wrap a primitive value inside an object, which means now we can store them in collection, use them with generic, and even take advantages of built-in method. Now you often see syntax like integer num equal to integer dot value of, then pass 10 as the parameter, then int x equal to num dot int value. Now what is happening here? Integer dot value of 10, it takes the primitive 10 and wrap it inside an integer object, and num dot int value parenthesis, this unwrap it back to primitive int. But honestly, writing this every time feels like an headache, and that's why Java introduced autoboxing and unboxing. Now, autoboxing is when Java automatically converts a primitive into its wrapper object, and unboxing is the reverse. It takes the wrapper and gives back the primitive. So, instead of writing dot value of or int value, Java does it us for behind the scene. So, let's see the code for them. Here I will directly paste the code to avoid extra time for wrapper classes, autoboxing and unboxing. So let's write Now you can see here I have imported ArrayList. Can you think why? Because it is not built into core Java like int or string. We need this class to create dynamic list that can grow and shrink. By the way, quick check. Can we directly write array list inside angle bracket int, or will Java shout at us? Drop your guess in the comments. Now moving forward, we have written array list integer number equal to new array list. Now can you think why? Here comes the interesting part. We are creating an array list that will store integer objects, not int but integer. Why? Because Java collections only work with objects, not primitives. That's exactly why wrapper classes exist. They wrap a primitive like int into an object like integer. Now, moving forward, look at these lines. Numbers dot add 10, then 20, then 30. I am adding plain numbers like 10, 20, 30. These are primitives. But Java is smart. Behind the scene, it does numbers dot add, then integer value of 10, then 20, then 30. This automatic conversion is called autoboxing. We didn't have to write dot value of. Java did the heavy lifting for us. Now, quick tip to the audience. Whenever you add a primitive into a collection, Java autoboxes it into its wrapper class. Save the time, right? Now we have int sum is equal to 0. Here we start with the sum variable, just a normal primitive int, and initialized it with 0. Then in the next line we have our for loop. This is really cool. We are using enhanced for loop to go through each element in the numbers of array list. Notice something? Each element is an integer object and not a primitive. But when we do sum plus equal to num, Java secretly calls the num.int value to convert that object back to the primitive int. This is the reverse and it is called unboxing. So Java is helping us both ways. Autoboxing when we add numbers and unboxing when we use them in arithmetic. Now a question for you all. What do you think will happen if one of the elements inside the array list is null and Java tries to unbox it? Comment your answers below. Then we have our print statement as numbers and sum. This will print the numbers, the list, and this statement will print the sum. So let's save our file and run our code to see what's coming as output. And you can see the list got printed as 10, 20, 30 and its sum as 60. Neat and clean thanks to wrapper classes, autoboxing and unboxing. So today we learned wrapper classes let us use primitive as objects. Autoboxing automatically converts a primitive to an object and unboxing does the reverse, that is object back to primitive. Now, question for the audience. Can you name one real life case where you have seen wrapper classes being used? Now a hint for you all. Think about ArrayList, HashMap or even parsing users' input. Drop your answer below. Before we wrap up, let me quickly show you something very useful. Your one-stop platform to master interview preparation question. Here is the home page. From here, let's go to the learning section and you can see multiple categories. And now let's check the prep zone. It has 3 parts. Let's go to the interview prep zone, specially curated for interview questions and much more. Everything you need to prepare smartly. Now let's go inside interview section and let's click Java and you can see interview questions are organized chapter wise. For example, in Java, you can see basic OOTS concept, loops, operators and so many important questions. Now let's click one of the chapter and you will get multiple questions interview based and you can prepare clearly with easy explanation exactly what you need for interview success. So if you are preparing for coding interviews or want to strengthen your concept, Quipoin is the place for you. Don't wait, start practicing today. Visit quipoin.com and give your career a boost. Here are multiple sections created for you learners to improve your coding skills and interview. And tomorrow we will move into enums, varargs and enhanced for loop, 3 powerful features that make Java more expensive and clean. Stay tuned because you will love now enums, how organize constants, varargs simplify methods and the enhanced loop makes iteration beautiful. So see you soon.